Booted. Okay, I think we've got audio. I think. Looks like we've got some people hanging out already, which I dig. I really appreciate you guys being here. I know some of you guys have been here for a while, and I really do appreciate that. We've got Mr. Grey Wolf. We've got Nighthawk ATL, who said he'll be in and out. We've got Peter. We've got Chris. Am I still muted? I shouldn't be muted. I was muted. I shouldn't be muted anymore. Because I'm seeing myself over here. I'm seeing myself over here. Perfect. Okay. Yay. That's awesome. Really, really glad that went well. I can't stress how much that means that everything's working appropriately. It's been weird kind of getting these live streams set up because it's a totally new thing for me. Like, I know that cool. I know that I've done live streams in the past and that sort of thing, but I've been wanting to do more, and I know I've said that in the past, and I have failed, and I suck for that. But I'm trying. Like, I'm genuinely trying this time. And one of the things that I've noticed since I've started doing live streams over the past couple of weeks is that I want to keep doing live streams. I have days where I'm just kind of sitting in there in the other part of the house where I'm doing nothing. And I'm like, I wonder, like, I want to go live stream. Like, I want to go chat. I want to interact. I want to do the stuff. And of course I can't do that. So I'm really enjoying being able to do, Mondays and Saturdays, I guess, is kind of what we've been doing. Though I think last week we did Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, I think, all in a row, which was a lot. But I'm super thankful that you guys are willing to come and hang out and join me while we chat and talk about stuff. So I'm thinking that it's going to be Mondays and Saturdays moving forward, and probably like 10:15 on Monday and about 11 o'clock on Saturday is kind of what I'm shooting for. That's what I put up on my Twitch page anyway, just to at least have a little bit of accountability for what I'm doing there. So yeah, that's kind of where things are at the moment anyway. Romsky says, hey DB Tech, thanks for your guides. Thanks for watching them. I really do mean that. I appreciate you guys checking out the content that I make. It's part of the reason I do it. Like, I enjoy creating content, but of course I enjoy it more when I get to get your guys' feedback and I get to chat with you guys about it. Whether it's in live streams or in comments or in Discord, you should definitely check all of that out. James Collins is here. That's awesome. Glad to have you here, man. Just kind of getting the stream started, getting settled in. I apologize. There may be kind of a high-pitched whine going on in the audio. I apologize for that. When I came out here an hour ago, it was 48 degrees in here. We're up to 55 now, but that is mostly thanks to the little space heater I've got pointed at my butt. So it's back there keeping me warmer than I would have been otherwise. And yeah, so I apologize if that noise is back there. Unfortunately, there's just not much I can do about it at the moment because I got to type and my fingies don't work if it's too cold. So I hope everybody had a great weekend. That's of course something I always hope, that you guys are doing well out there. In South Africa, we're looking to some cool content. That's awesome. Glad to hear that. Thank you so much for joining me from South Africa. It still boggles my mind. Like, when I look through analytics and I see like all of the different places that people watch my content from. But it boggles my mind even more when I get on a live stream and somebody tells me where they're from, and it's somewhere I've never been, that is like a million miles away from me. It's weird to think that just sitting here doing this, I get to talk to a whole bunch of people, like literally all over the world, and that's cool. Let's see. P says hi from Canada. DE says, I get that my fingers don't work if it's cold. Yeah. And in fact, I'm actually, while I'm sitting here and you can't see my hands, I'm doing this to get my joints warmed up. Jan says hi from Denmark. Romsky says applause from the Philippines. That's cool, man. Hello from Utah. Neat. I've driven through Utah a lot. I grew up in Idaho, unfortunately, and moved to Colorado. But like all of my family except for my wife and kid are here. Or sorry, all my family is in Idaho except the wife and kids. So periodically we have to go back, and sometimes we drive because we hate ourselves apparently. But it's about 1,000 miles or 1,600 kilometers from here to where we're going, and we've driven through Utah a lot. In fact, we've got a friend kind of in the Ogden area that we hang out with, and we'll chat with him periodically and hang out with him when we drive through and that sort of thing. So let's see. This is Dave, says greetings from Hinckley, UK. Noah says hi, another day, another stream. I would honestly, if I wasn't afraid that I would get boring and frustrate you guys, I would probably stream more. Like I was saying earlier when we first started, now that I've started streaming regularly, like I want to stream more. And it's this weird thing that's happened in my brain lately. I really want to keep creating these live streams, but yeah, just trying to ease myself into it, not trying to get overwhelmed, not trying to bore and frustrate you guys, that sort of thing. Nighthawk says hello. Mr. Gray responds. Joao Vaz. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that. Says hi from Portugal. Thanks for your streams. That's cool. Thank you for joining me. I do appreciate that. Namaste from India. Noah says something about Tuga. I'm not sure what that is, but cool. So hold on, gotta get some coffee. Ivan is here. Thanks for joining, man. Appreciate you being here. We got an end screen. We did. Yeah, I added one. I actually came out here about 20 minutes early to modify my stream setup just a little bit from a technical perspective. I had to move some things around for this particular stream. So we've still got chat on both my dumb face and the screen. I added kind of some Twitch interaction stuff because, I mean, I'm on Twitch. I may as well, right? So anytime somebody follows on Twitch or does certain things on Twitch, notifications should pop up here on the screen and kind of take over for a second. I thought that would be kind of fun, at least to try out. And then I added an end screen. I added an end screen to this so that I can hit the little button on my Stream Deck down here when I finally wrap things up. I'll let that run for 20 or 30 seconds, and then we'd make sure that we're not cutting anything off, like I've done so many times. And it's primarily a YouTube issue, from what I can ascertain, because I've got the latency set to normal rather than low or ultra low. So there's like a 30-second delay on YouTube for some reason. So yeah, we've got that added. We've got some new stuff going on there. I think I need to dial back my Nightbot a little bit. It's being pretty aggressive lately, and I just need to log in and change some of that. Hold on, I gotta see what. Oh, I don't care. So our last stream, which was Saturday, we talked about Pangolin. Which is a reverse proxy with tunneling capability, similar to like Cloudflare tunnels. And in fact, after that live stream was over, I actually reached out to the developers of Pangolin and told them I was excited about their project, and I was that I'd done a live stream about it, and I was going to make a tutorial video. And they actually sat down and watched the whole live stream and came back and gave me notes. So probably tomorrow, I'm going to make like a dedicated tutorial video on that. So that everybody doesn't have to watch a 3-hour live stream to figure out how to do it, but also so I can correct some of the things that I said and misunderstood. And they were real cool about just being like, we think you may have misunderstood or conflated was the word they used, not misunderstood. They were good with their words too, man. It was like they're great guys to chat with. So anyway, I'm going to try to deconflate some of the things that I had misnotions about in the video that I'm probably going to make tomorrow. And we can look for a kind of a dedicated, 15 to 20 minute video probably on Pangolin coming out Wednesday if I can keep going with content creation aspect of things rather than just the live streams. Today we're going to talk about Zoraxy. It got brought up in the stream Saturday as well, and I've kind of taken a look at it and played with it a little bit, but that's why to come back. Weird. Sorry, I'm getting little weird notifications over here. Stream status poor. Does YouTube look okay? I'm just curious. It's throwing weird keyframe issues at me. Yeah, if you guys can let me know if YouTube looks all right, that'd be great. It says that the stream status is poor. I swear I'm going to get it right one of these days. YouTube looks great. Cool. Thanks, man. Appreciate you. So anyway, the Nightbot won't work on Twitch at the moment. I don't have it configured for that. Cool. Thank you guys for confirming. Really appreciate that. Have Twitch muted. That's probably good. Listening to me once is bad enough. I can't imagine doing it twice. So anyway, today we're going to take a look at Zoraxy. It is also a reverse proxy, but because of some of the little details when you do certain things, I had to readjust some things on the screen for like the overlays and that sort of thing. So that's you may notice a little bit of differences here and there. I will have to kind of compensate from time to time just to make sure that that everything works on a stream by stream basis to the best of my ability without screwing things up too badly. So yeah, like I said, we're going to talk about Zoraxy today. There are some aspects of Zoraxy we're not going to cover. We'll get to that when we get to that. Let's see. Let me make sure I haven't missed anything. Ivan has a newborn named Noah. Congratulations. That's awesome. Goku says hello from Florida. For what it's worth, Nightbot. Okay, we talked about that. Gainesville in the house. That's awesome. YouTube looks great. We talked about all of that. Looks good in the UK. Awesome. Thank you. Have you done any videos on Authentic as a secure access solution? I have not. I did a video on Athelia, and the sadness that filled my soul by the time I was done with that video put me off of doing things like Authentic afterwards. So I haven't gone that route just yet. Okay, everything there looks good. Congrats on the newborn. Love your content. Good vibes from Chicago, Alfonso says. Thank you for joining and hanging out and chatting just a little bit. Definitely appreciate you being here. So I guess with all of that 15 little minute intro thing out of the way, let's chat about Zoraxy a little bit so that you guys can get what you came for, right? So let's jump over to here. Let's jump over to my bottom desktop, make sure all of this still looks all right. So there's nothing inherently wrong with Athelia other than the week-long setup process that I had to go through. It's like, in fact, I looked at it a little bit this morning because it kind of ties into Zoraxy. I don't know why I'm back over here. We're chatting. So I looked into Athelia a little bit this morning and started digging through it, but I just didn't have the mental wherewithal while I was still on my first cup of coffee to give it another try. Just because, you know what? Here. Athelia, right? If we come over... I know, I'm going to pop this open, right? Okay, here's Athelia's webpage. This is for their integration, and maybe this is my problem. This is their integration page, but it's under deployment and it's under Docker. like it gives us a lot of information. It gives us a few different compose options that we can use. Like it gives us a lot of information here that we can do stuff with. But it says, for a standalone example, the following examples are Docker Compose deployments with just Authelia and no bundled applications or proxies. Cool. So it says it expects the following. It expects this file, this directory with these secrets. It also expects that you're using a PostSQL or Postgres SQL database, and that you have an external network named net, which is in bridge mode. Fine. Okay. So I don't have a problem with creating these directories and these files and all of that. But nowhere in any of these services does it say anything about a Postgres SQL database. It doesn't give us any idea how to connect that. It doesn't give us any information. And that's true with all of these different things here. So that's a bit off-putting. Like they're just like, here's sort of part of our project, figure out the rest. And that's frustrating to me. If you want people to use, and look, and I 100% admit maybe I'm on the wrong page because I keep coming back here. But there's nothing on this page that actually explains how to, what the connection needs to be for the Postgres SQL database. There's nothing that talks about the things that need to go into the configuration.yml file. There's nothing in here that really explains in a full detail situation how to set this up. Like they apparently want you to go through page by page by page by page to get this set up. And I can't seem to find a decent full explanation that isn't an hour's worth of reading just to set up a Docker application. I understand that security gets complicated and that sort of thing, but I don't want to have to read for hours and hours and hours just to set up a single Docker application when I can use other solutions in its place. It's super, super frustrating for me. Yeah, and it sounds like some of you guys are having very, very similar issues. So hold on, I'm authentic. So and maybe I'll look at Authentic. The problem, at least for now, is that Authentic doesn't natively integrate into Zoraxy, but we'll get to that here in a little bit. That's my Authelia rant, part 11 or whatever it is, right? So here is Zoraxy's homepage. Now, this is very basic. This is just a landing page, right? Like all of these links over here just take you to different parts of the page. But it says Zoraxy beyond reverse proxy. It's your ultimate home lab network tool. You can click here to learn more. You've got a couple of quick access links for downloading the pre-built binary and then jumping over to GitHub, which we've got open right there. So if we scroll down, we can see some of the features include a reverse proxy, simple to use, noob-friendly reverse proxy server. We've got redirection. We've got geo, IP, and blacklist. I love that. I love being able to say, block these IP addresses, block these ranges, block these countries as necessary. They've also got a global area network with 0 tier. I have not dug into this at all, but I think there's a bit more explanation over on the GitHub page about that. But it expects that you'll have 0 tier already set up on your server. There's no direct integration from this that I can tell. But that's more stuff I need to look into. So anyway, what else we got? We got a web SSH integration with Gaudi web SSH terminal. Allows one-stop management of your nodes inside your private LAN via a gateway node. We've got real-time stats. We've got a scanner and utilities, and we've got an open source GPL license or an AGPL license on this. We've got some screenshots. So homepage, I kind of wish this popped up in a lightbox versus individual images, but there's some network status, and we've got a default site, which we'll talk about a little bit. We've got all of our HTTP proxies here. And we can see that we've got a host, a destination, virtual directories, basic auth, and then you can edit those, of course. Close out some of this stuff. And then this is one of their analysis pages. So some good information in here, which I definitely appreciate. We've got plugins add custom routing rules via simple scripts. Documentation work is in process, or in progress rather. And I kind of feel like that is one of the central themes to this at the moment anyway. Toby, it looks like, is the main developer on this, but I don't know what the actual status of this is. Let me toggle back over to here real quick and see. Okay, we're on version 3.16, so we're not in beta, but it seems as though there's still some documentation that needs to be done, which I don't hate. Like, stuff happens. We've all got stuff going on. But that is Zoraxy's webpage. That's all there is to it. Very, very basic. But there's more information over here on the GitHub repository where we can look through, the code, and then the licensing is over here as well. And it says a general purpose HTTP reverse proxy and forwarding tool, now written in Go. So we've got features, simple use interface. I agree. Reverse proxy for HTTP2 with virtual directories, WebSocket proxies. Basic auth, alias host names, and custom headers, redirection rules, SSL deployment, which I love. So, in fact, I wonder, yeah. So this one actually will allow for a DNS challenge. That was one of the issues we had with Pangolin, is it didn't, at least right now, doesn't support DNS challenges, though I'm sure they're probably working on that. And the benefit to using a DNS challenge when you're dealing with SSLs is that using services like Cloudflare, if you're using their DNS, you can use their DNS proxy as well, and then use the DNS challenges to install, initiate, renew whatever your SSLs without having to have your server's IP address available to the general public, right? So I love that they've got DNS challenges in there as an option, though that's some of the documentation that needs more work as well. In fact, let me just pop this open and see. Cloudflare API key. Yeah, so there's some general information in here. Let me see. Cloudflare. There we go. So this might actually help, if I'm being completely honest. I didn't look at this. But we'll take a look at it, and we'll get there when we get there, I suppose. Again, blacklists, we've got Global Area Network Controller Web UI, zero tier not included. So you will need to have your own zero tier set up and ready to go for that. We've got stream proxies, which I actually had to look up. I had seen stream proxy in a lot of other things that I'd looked at. But of course, I'm not on the right page. There we go. Let's see. Let me come back over here because I've been yapping for a while. I only use Redis with Athelia. That's fair. Like, I tried to deploy it using the Docker Compose that was. I need to get better at this. So it says I only use Redis with Athelia. When I tried to deploy this with its standard setup, and not having Postgres available to it, it wouldn't do anything because it just kept complaining that there was no Postgres database there. So I finally just gave up on Athelia. Anyway, Nighthawk says, I have all countries except USA and Canada blocked on mine. Sometimes the Netherlands and Japan sneaks in. I read on their GitHub that sockets are working properly. That would mess with some of our self-hosted apps. Nighthawk says that he's confirmed the WebSockets work and no issues. The dev just added dark mode a few weeks ago. That's cool. And yes, as Nighthawk confirmed, it does support wildcard certs. So after I was talking to Nighthawk about this, was it last night or this morning? I don't remember. My days are so. Let's see. It was yesterday. It was last night. We were talking about certs and that sort of thing. Specifically the DNS aspect of those certs. And it sounds to me like what Nighthawk has done is generated an SS or a wildcard cert that's good for a really long time, so that there's no need to worry about DNS and that sort of thing for renewing it, because it's going to be a while before it needs to be renewed. We're not going to get into that today, I don't think. I just kind of want to give just a general overview of Zoraxy. And then if we discover something along the way that we can work through, we'll do that. If not, we'll do something kind of general here. We'll chat for a while and kind of go from there. Yeah, so jumping back over to GitHub here. We've got the stream proxy, which we talked about. It's got an integrated uptime monitor, which I love. And you can turn that on and off per service that's running through your Zoraxy proxy. Again, the web SSH terminal, utilities for IP scannings, debugging forward proxies, wake on LAN, MDNS scanner, and CIDR IP converters. We've also got single admin management mode, external permission management system for easy integration, SMTP config for password reset, and dark theme mode. And then, of course, some more information here about all of that different stuff, and then more screenshots, that sort of thing. So that's what we've got going on for their homepage and their GitHub page. And then I'm going to close that for right now. So again, also one thing that I noticed with this is it, and in fact, I talked to Nighthawk about this a little bit. Oh. Hey, Jorge, thanks for hanging out, man. See you later. One of the things that I noticed about Zoraxy is it is kind of resource intensive with regard to RAM. I had this originally set up on a 1 gig VPS over on RackNerd. Again, links to all of that's in the description. But one of the issues that I ran into is that it kept crapping out on me because I only had 1 gig of RAM, and that wasn't enough for Zoraxy to run effectively. So if you're going to put this on a VPS somewhere else outside of your home, make sure that you've got a couple of gigs of RAM so that it can do what it needs to do. So basically what I did was I got a new, let's just come over to here. So what I did was I went over to RackNerd last night and bought a new VPS. It's got like 3.5 gigs of RAM, and did some testing with it. And that's what we're going to use for this video, is the new 3.5 gig version of the VPS that I got. So here's what I've got set up, just like we did with Pangolin. This is my Cloudflare instance that I'm logged into, and I've got everything pointed to that new VPS. That's all I'm doing over here. I've got my root domain, I've got a wildcard and a www, which doesn't matter, it's just there. And currently I've got all of my DNS proxy statuses turned off, just because I need to do more digging into how to get the DNS stuff to work with Zoraxy. So here is my Portainer instance. Make sure that looks right. Still, it does. And if we jump in, we can take a look. I've actually already got the stack in here. In fact, there's Authelia, and it gave me nothing but headaches. So it's not running, I don't think. It's not. Okay. So, but I've also got the Zoraxy Docker Compose in here. It's very, very basic. It's one service. It's the Zoraxy Docker container. The image, Zoraxy Docker / Zoraxy with the latest tag, container name, some ports of 80 and 443, so HTTP and HTTPS traffic. And then we've also got a dashboard port by default, it's set to 8,000, but I like to use Portainer. And Portainer uses 8,000, so I just switched it to 9,900 for the port there. Then we've got a volume, and again, I put this in home /docker /Zoraxy /config, and then an argument of no auth equals false. So that's it. That is the entire Docker Compose as I'm using it, and it works. The other thing that I wanted to show real quick before we jump into this is that, not volumes, images. This is, oh, you can't see it. My stupid face is in the way. Let me move that out of the way. There we go. The Zoraxy image is 348 megs, give or take. So let's see. Yeah. So Diaz asks, how does it compare to NPM and Caveat resource usage? Thank you, Nighthawk, for sharing that. Zoraxy is using 1.6 gigs of RAM. NPM was lighter, but Zoraxy does a bit more and needs the extra resources. That is, couldn't have said it better myself. So, yeah, so that's kind of where that is. So all we're going to do is come back over to our stack, and I'm just going to come back to my editor, and I'm going to click Update. like that and click update. And this is going to deploy just that fast because, again, I already had that 350 megs or whatever downloaded. If we jump into the logs, interesting. I don't know what that is for. Huh. All right, so that's healthy now. We've got ports 443 and 80 in there. Oh, Dave's out. Thanks for hanging out. See you next time. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop open and continue to the site. I feel like, oh, you know what? I'm stupid. Sorry, guys. Give me a second here. I totally screwed that up. Because I deployed this earlier, you know what? Here's what we're going to do. I'm just going to do this quickly. I'm just going to switch this to Zoraxy live, like so, just so that I don't have a predefined database already in there. I screwed that up. That was my bad. Let's come back into here and look. Yeah, that all actually looks a lot better because there was stuff in there from a previous install where I did a little bit of testing. Nope, it's right there. That's so strange. I don't know. So let's come back over to here. Let's pop this open. There we go. And confirm. And I'll get logged in. And we'll log in. There we go. Cool. So that's really bright. Let's switch this to dark mode. Let me know if that's hard to read. Hi from Russia. Thanks for the stream. True Passion says NPM works for me. Why change it? Don't. I mean, unless you find something here that you really like, there's no need to. Here's the thing, and I think there's some. I feel like often there is confusion about my content, whether it's a live stream or anytime I talk about a Docker container, right? And I feel like that confusion is this. I make a video. I've made several videos about, like note-taking applications, and I get comments like this. What I do already works. Why would I change it? I'm not asking you to change it, right? Like I'm just saying here is another option. Here is something for somebody who doesn't have a solution in place. Here is something that may be new to you, that you didn't know about, that may have features you weren't aware of, that may make you want to change for whatever reason. But I'm not saying you should change. I'm not saying this is the best thing ever. This is just me taking a look at it and saying, hey, here's an option if you want to take a look at it. So that's all my videos have ever meant to be, is just here's another option if you want to take a look at it. So, yeah. So okay. So Diaz says, I'm just going to call you Diaz. I apologize if that's wrong. Says one last question: does it support dynamic adding of hosts, or does it need to restart? It does not need to restart. We'll actually take a look at that here in a minute. And also, does it do any checking of the host/service? It does. Yeah, thank you, Nighthawk. It does. It does like uptime monitoring if you want it to do that, and we'll get into that. In fact, you can see it. You can't see it. There we go. Right over here, there's an uptime monitor, but there's nothing here, so there's nothing for it to check. Oops. Let's go back to here. Right, there we go. So this is the home page, and again, we're in dark mode. Man, you know what? I think maybe this will be easier in light mode. I think maybe the dark mode just needs a little bit of work. Yeah. Anyway, so we've got a quick start page where you can take a look at that. You know what? I'm going to need to do that. Hold on. I'm going to do this in the background while we're chatting, I think. But give me 1 second here. So it does dynamic. Man, if I could type. Cool. All right, so I've just got that up and running for later now. All right, so It does let you kind of have your own little web page, basic homepage thing if you wanted to do that. There's already a page built in there, and this actually will give instructions. Oh, this lets you check things off or start the walkthrough. Subdomain routing, add and handle traffic from your subdomains and point them to a dedicated web service somewhere else, which I love. And of course, turn your unsafe HTTP into HTTPS. So we've done all of that. So we've got a status page. That's kind of where we were a moment ago. And we can see network status. We can see requests and data and online and global settings and use TLS to serve proxy requests and lots of really good stuff in here, which I love. There's this default site. So basically, like if we were to go, yeah, I understand that. And then go to here. That's it, right? Welcome to your Zoraxy static web server. And you can manipulate this, and that's why I had to pop open the terminal down here just to make things easier, right? But you can have it hit a reverse you can have it hit an internal web static server, which we just looked at, a reverse proxy target, a redirect, show a 404, or close the connection, which I dig. We're just going to leave this on internal static web server for right now. In fact, you know what? While we're here, screw it. Let's just do this. We're going to do it live. So we're going to go to CD. We're going to do home docker Zoraxy live, and then ls, and then cd config ls, and then okay. So right here, let me zoom in on that a little bit. Right. So we go to home docker Zoraxy live, and then config wherever you've stored this. It's in the config folder. And if we do a cd into www and then an ls in here, we can see that there are HTML and templates. So we do a cd into HTML and ls, and there's our index.html. So we can do like nano or vim, whatever you want to use. Index, right? And then we can, oops, I need to log in. Typed it wrong. Cool. So here we can see the HTML, the CSS, the body, all of this. We can see this. Welcome to Zoraxy. Zoraxy Livestream. And then Control O and enter in Control X. And then right there, we just changed that in real time just by editing the HTML and not having to restart the server, which I love. So that's what the homepage looks like. You can, of course, manipulate this however you want to as a static HTML file, or like I showed earlier over here, we can have it do any of these other things as well. Under HTTP proxy, this is a list of your proxies. This is a list of the services that you're proxying through Zoraxy. Of course, we've got nothing here at the moment, so there's really not much that we can do there. We've got virtual directories. This is kind of like it says here, the path that follows your select host or domain. For instance, my site. So it might be like whatever.com/Zoraxy. That's the virtual directory that they're talking about there. I don't like to use virtual directories. I know a lot of people do. I prefer subdomains. So we're not going to spend any more time than this in virtual directories, again, because I prefer subdomains. Let's see. Okay, hold on. I'm catching up. It is dynamic. No restart needed. Have to go study. Noah, thanks for hanging out. Appreciate you being here. Stepping away for a bit. Nighthawk, thanks for being here for a minute. I'll still be here, but on mute. Cool. Thanks, man. Appreciate you. Let's just come back over to here. Let's see what else we got. Forsaken One says, I've never had good luck with any kind of proxy. I don't know enough to get them working properly, so I don't mess with them. Well, hopefully we can fix that for you, or at least help you out with that a little bit. One thing I liked about NPM is that you can add multiple addresses at the same time using the same. Yeah, that's fair. We'll take a look at adding proxies here in a minute. Brennan West, thank you, man, for being back. I appreciate seeing familiar faces, and simultaneously, Nighthawk is back. That was quick, but I'm glad you're here. That's cool. Thank you guys so much for hanging out today. Appreciate you. Man, all right. I'm honestly genuinely surprised at how many people are here today in a live stream on a Monday morning. That is bonkers to me. How to set up authentication in Zoraxy. We're going to cover that. We're going to talk about a couple of different ways to do that at some point. But we're really going to only focus on one of them because the other one is Athelia, and I just don't have the brain power for it right now. Sumi, we will talk about some authentication stuff, some basic authentication stuff here in a little bit. Papico says, hi. Hi. Glad to have you here. JD is here. Good morning. Thanks for joining today. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me and being here. So let's jump back over to here, over to Zoraxy again. So we've got creating proxy rules, right? And there are some things about this that I wish were a little bit different, and we're going to talk about that, right? So we're going to use dbtech.tube as the main domain here. So I'm going to set up zoraxy.dbtech.tube. And then I'm going to point it to this IP and that port, like so. The IP and the port that we're already on. It says that we can pick from Docker containers, though I haven't had any luck getting my Docker containers to load. It's gone now, but down there in that bottom corner, right under my face, it said that it couldn't do it, and it says it right there as well. And I'm not entirely sure why, although I say that, and it's probably because I haven't mounted the Docker socket here, which would probably fix that. I'm willing to bet that is the issue, is I didn't mount the Docker socket to the volume, which means that's probably something that needs to be added there. That makes me curious. We may come back to that. So we can't, if we had the Docker socket connected via a volume, we should then be able to pick from Docker containers that are available here. I may cover that in the actual dedicated tutorial about this. But the proxy requires TLS connection. That we're actually I'm going to demonstrate that here in the next proxy that we set up. But this is all we're going to do for right now. There are some advanced settings like sticky sessions, ignoring TLS SSL verification. That's like when you go to like Portainer and you go to like port 9443 and it's like, hey, this isn't secure. This setting right there is to ignore that. You can also skip the WebSocket origin check. You can allow plain HTTP access. Probably not a great idea. Access rules. We're going to come back to access rules later. But you can require basic auth right there. And you can say you require this username and password in order to even get to the dashboard. So let's just do that. Let's do dbtech and like that. We're going to add that credential, right? So now it's going to require basic auth in order to even get there. If everything goes according to plan, we can rate limit how many requests per second per IP, which I think is a great thing to do. And then once we're here, we can click Create Endpoint. Now, when I click this, I want you guys to focus under my face on your screen because something's going to pop up there that I wish was somewhere else. I'm going to click Create Endpoint, but down here, it's like, hey, do you want to request new SSL cert while you're at this? Yeah, I really, really do. It's right down here in this bottom corner. That's why I moved my face up. I'm going to click Yes. Oh, email not set. See, this is why we do this. So what we need to do is go to TLS SSL certificates and put in, oops, yes, I understand that. I don't care. I need to put in an email address for the Acme email settings and then save. Cool, that's, okay, we're gonna give this a second. We're gonna open the Acme tool. We're going to enable certificate auto renew with that. We can also generate new certificates from here as well. And then there's an advanced renew policy. You can come in here and say, hey, renew all of them now, or you can not. Certificate renew only works for the certification authority supported by Zoraxy. So apparently there is a Zoraxy wiki. Interesting. That might change my opinion on life, the universe, and everything. It says to check the wiki, but I'm not really. Is there a wiki over here that I missed? There is. Well, I'll be damned. That's not okay. Custom headers. Okay, I missed this. Look at me. So this may come in handy. So there is a wiki. I just missed it. This is why we do these live streams now, is to give me a better approach to my content. So anyway, we can generate new certs, that sort of thing. So we've got we've got our cert stuff at least configured for the primary focus of what we're doing right now, which is to create a proxy, which is going to be zoraxy.dbtech.tube. And then I'm going to copy this again and paste that in there. I don't need any of the advanced. Oh, we do. We want the advanced settings for right now. We're not going to do sticky sessions, although it looks like they do support upstream load balancing. We'll talk about that a little bit. So, right, we're going to add that. I got to retype that. I don't trust myself. There we go. And of course, like we talked about, we can enable rate limiting requests per second per IP, right? So I'm going to create the endpoint. Now we're going to say, hey, yes, I do want to request a new cert for this. Requesting a certificate via Let's Encrypt. And then nothing happened except the page kind of reloaded without telling us the page reloaded. So yeah, that's a thing. But if we come back to the HTTP proxy, there is Zoraxy.dbtech.tube. If I click that, hey, look, now there is some basic auth here that requires you to enter a username and password. Like so. And now we can get to our dashboard and log in. So that's how easy it is to get Zoraxy up and running with regards to just a very simple proxy. And of course, if I were to log into this, oops, that's not what I meant to do at all. But then to be able to log in via Zoraxy.dbtech.tube. Right, so let's do one more because there was something that I wanted to show, right? We're gonna do portainer, huh? .dbtech.tube. And then we're going to paste in that same IP address and port, but we're going to change this to 9443, like so. And this says proxy target requires TLS connection. That's true because it's got that 9443 on there. And then we want to ignore the TLS SSL verification. I'm not going to require basic auth on this one, but I'm going to click create endpoint. Yes, I want to request a new SSL. It's thinking about it down here in the bottom right-hand corner. And then, again, the page reloaded, but it didn't tell us anything, except that it says the certificate installed. Cool. So back to our proxies, portainer.dbtech.tube, click that, and there is Portainer. Just that quick and easy. We deployed a couple of certs on here. We can see here the host, the destination, the virtual directory, again, which we're not using, the advanced settings, if there were any, and then we've got some actions. We can turn these on and off, right? Like if I wanted to, I could just turn off the Portainer, right? And if I go there, it just takes us right back to the home page. But if I turn this back on and refresh, there's Portainer again. So you can toggle those on and off on the fly very, very easily. If we click the edit button right here, again, we can edit a few different things here, like allow HTTP access. We can we can add an alias host name if we want to do that. We can add an access rule if we wanted to do that. We'll get on into access control here in a little bit. And then we can get a certificate. We can edit the upstreams. We can use sticky sessions. We can turn on or off the uptime monitoring. We can edit virtual directories. There is authentication provider, none, basic auth, or Authelia. And that's where I started going down that rabbit hole and decided I just didn't have it in me this morning. But you can also do a rate limit check right there, or modify the rate limit right there if you wanted to. You can edit credentials. You can add custom headers if you need to do that for whatever reason. All of that is in there if that's what you need to do for your setup. I didn't change anything, so I'm not going to save it. But that is how to get a domain name set up for your individual, or a subdomain in this case, set up for the services that are available on your host here. Now, what's cool about this is that much like Nginx Proxy Manager, you could have this instance of Zoraxy, or your instance of Zoraxy, set up on your Docker host, or on a Docker host. And let's say on your local network you had 2 or 3 Docker hosts. You could then point to any of those different hosts, right? This isn't one of those things that depends on this Docker container being on each individual host, you can point to different hosts, different locations, different things like that, without too much of a headache, I don't think. So that's kind of what we wanted to take a look at as far as that was concerned, was just getting a proxy set up. And we took a look at both a regular proxy and a proxy that already has its own SSL built in. Super straightforward, I think. I would love to know if you guys have got questions about that. See, DE says, normally I don't do live streams, but I'm looking for something to replace NPM and actually have the time to view the entire stream. That's awesome. Let's see. Forsaken One says, could you mess with that login by trying the SQL hacks? Is the SQL based? This might be good for me to use if it's available on Unraid. I don't know. I don't know if I mean, you could probably try SQL hacks on it if you wanted to. I'd appreciate it if you did it on yours and not mine. I don't want you to hack my stuff. Is there a difference between a proxy and a reverse proxy? How is this different from, say, Cloudflare tunnels and Pangolin? So this is more like Nginx Proxy Manager. So Cloudflare tunnels and Pangolin can both be, well, so Pangolin can just be used as a reverse proxy of sorts if you wanted to go that route and not have another like a VPS or whatever set up out in the wild. This is just a reverse proxy for the sake of redirecting things. So this is a reverse proxy is traffic coming in and being redirected wherever. A regular proxy is kind of like using a VPS where you will access things from different IP addresses, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the traffic is encrypted. You can use proxies for data scraping and that sort of thing. That is you going through a proxy to go out to look for information or gather information. A reverse proxy is traffic coming in and then being redirected to somewhere else on your network. I think that's the best way I can describe it. Is there a different, okay, so we talked about that. For wildcard certs, does it need a main domain attached? I don't think so. Like, I mean, you would need a domain name, if that's what you're asking, but, I'm not using, like, if you just go to dbtech.tube, nothing happens, I don't think. I don't think I've actually even checked that, dbtech.tube. Yeah, like, it just, yeah, there's like, this doesn't do anything. Yeah, and it's going to force the TLS on that. So, yeah, so there we go. It's not going to let me do anything with this because of my current configuration. That doesn't mean that I am correct or that my configuration here wouldn't be different than yours. So that's definitely something you'd want to take a look at for yourself. Oh, except my stupid face is up. Gosh darn it. There we go. There's dbtech.tube. Yeah, and it won't even let me go anywhere else. Like, it just lets me reload, and that's about it. So, so that's kind of what's going on with that. Also, I just wanted to let DE know. He said that, or DE says, normally I don't have time to do live streams. This is just kind of a preliminary, like, kind of going through things. Getting input from you guys, so when I actually do the dedicated video for it, I can make a more informed video. So I'm actually kind of relying on you guys for some of this, if I'm being completely honest. Reverse proxy shapes traffic incoming on your domains without the need for static IPs and using a bind 9. Well, there you go. So anyway, let's see. That is the wiki, and then okay, so here we are. Okay, we're back to the Zoraxy dashboard here. Yeah, now YouTube is being fine. I just don't get it. Whatever. Weird. Okay, so we did that. We looked at that. Stream proxies again is a proxy traffic flow on layer 3 via TCP or UDP. Again, this is more for when you need a constant connection for, like, say maybe like VoIP calls or media streaming, that sort of thing. You might use a stream proxy. We've got redirection over here. I don't have any redirection rules in, but it says any matching prefix to the requested URL redirected to the destination URL. So I might do something like this. Let's just try this. Let's just do .com. Forward path name, hold fine. Add the redirect rule. Let's try that, see what happens. Yeah, I didn't like that at all. There we go. So just that quick and easy. Again, we did portainer.dbtech.tube, and it redirected. I don't know why it's giving us this. That's interesting. But anyway, that's how redirects work. Super simple to set up. I'm going to disable that. But you can do 301s or 307s depending on whether it is permanent or redirect or temporary. You can choose whichever one you want. And it gives examples of how you might handle some of this. In fact, we were talking about 301 redirects the other day. Yeah, so that's you can do 301 redirects directly from here if you wanted to. We've got access control, right? So we kind of talked about this a little bit. We showed this a little bit earlier. What? Clicked on advanced? I don't know what you mean. If I saw you just said clicked on advanced, that doesn't. I need more. I need more than that. But so basically, we've got our default access rule here, and we can access the rule editor, edit, default, rule ID, rule name, and then a description. But from here, we can blacklist. We can enable a blacklist for different countries. We can use ISO codes, I guess. Hold on. Let's just do this. Oh, there we go. And then it will show us the ISO code for that. I wasn't trying to particularly pick on Afghanistan, but I just wanted to see what that did. We can block IPs or ranges, and you can see how that would work for fixed IP wildcards and CIDR strings. If we scroll back up, we can whitelist countries. So you could it would be neat if there was a blacklist everything, but then whitelist certain things. Maybe there's a way to do that. And then we've got a quick ban where we can you can perform one-click IP bans on the list below if you observe unusual traffic from an unknown origin. There's no HTTP requests recorded today. That's interesting. Let's refresh. Hey, there we go. Wow, lots of people checking this stuff out, huh? I see how it is. But yeah, I could then, if I wanted to, I could just block that person, blacklist that person. Sure you want to remove? Yep, I sure am. So then we've got this global area network, and down here under my face again, it says unable to access node ID information. And again, that's because I don't have zero tier set up on this server. But if I did, we could create a new network and use, I guess we could use zero tier as a proxy, probably similarly to how we used WireGuard in Pangolin. There's so many of these words that are just, I feel dumb sometimes when I say these sentences. It's kind of the same thing when people are talking about crypto stuff or that kind of stuff, and it's just here's a bunch of made up words in a row. I'm just what? Where have we gone as a society that these are the words we're using in our daily conversation? It's a conversation my wife and I have periodically about when I'm trying to explain something to her, like pangolin and Zoraxy. Obviously pangolin is a thing, but when I'm talking to her and I'm using all of these words, she just looks at me are you a child? Are you just making stuff up as you go? What is your deal? And then I have to explain, no, these are really things that people have named their projects or whatever. So anyway, there's how we could set up a global area network if I had zero tier installed. To do Forsaken One says, I think it's called lazy. I mean, maybe that's entirely possible. Blacklist 0.0.0.0/0, and then whitelist as long as the whitelist is applied first. Thomas W says this seems way beyond Nginx proxy or Nginx reverse proxy. It is. It absolutely is way beyond that. It does a lot more stuff than Nginx Proxy Manager does, which is, again, like Nighthawk said, why it requires more resources than Nginx Proxy Manager. This is kind of the next step, but not quite where we were with Pangolin. But I'm really digging Zoraxy, and of course, there's a lot of functionality in here that we're not going to get to. Again, Athelia, zero tier, the global access net or global area network, but But yeah, way beyond Nginx Proxy Manager. Diaz says, does it have export-import of settings? Yeah, it would be nice to get to migrate. That's an interesting question. I don't know. Okay. Well, while we're here, accounts, you can change your password. You can set up SMTP settings, so you can like recover your password if you need to do that. Send a test email. Toolbox, IP address to CDR or CIDR rather. System. We can open config tools, and we can view the logs. Let's open config tools and just see what happens. Yep, right here, backup current configs right there. There's what you were looking for, Diaz. You can back up and restore. So yeah, you can just do a full system snapshot, or you can do proxy settings, redirect rules, and certs only. But just know that if you do a full system snapshot, it will cause the system to shut down after completed. Make sure your Zoraxy is configured to work with systemd to automatically restart Zoraxy after system restore is completed. So there you go. Have you... Sorry, DE, I don't know what you're asking there. Have you HEKED? I don't know. Is the config JSON? That's a good question. Proxy settings, let's just do that. It is a zip file. We're going to keep it. Let's see what's in there. I don't have anything to hide, I don't think. Of course I say that. I'm going to open it up over here because that's where it opened it up over there. Config, let's take a look. Conf. Oh, yeah. So basically what it did was this. It did give us an acmeconf.json, but also some CSV files, some config files, a JSON file. So it looks like there's actually several different things in here for all of this, including the actual SSL certs and their keys. That's pretty cool. So yeah, it does all that. It's more than just a JSON file. It's the actual files that you'll need to do a restore. That's neat. Have you checked if it only has UI configuration, or if there are things that need to be configured in files? So that's a good question now that I understand what you're asking for. So to my understanding, the basic system itself, Zoraxy as a standalone unit, doesn't require anything outside of deploying the Docker Compose that we took a look at right here, right? This is just a very basic Docker Compose. But if you want to have zero-tier installed and working with the global area network, if you want to have Authelia installed and working for authentication, then you would need to do that outside of this and then configure that in this. But as far as additional things, I don't believe there's anything outside. Diaz is very nice. That's a really cool thing to have. By the way, my name should be, like Daisy. Thank you. That's super helpful, Daisy. I apologize for calling you Diaz so many times. I just wasn't aware. Thank you for correcting me. What about load balancing? Does it check all the servers? Let's actually jump back over here and take a look. Sorry, one more question we'll get to. Vincent says, can Zoraxy be installed on Ubuntu without the use of Docker? I mean, there's a binary. If we come over to here, you can download, let's open this up. Yeah, here we go. There are the binaries right there on their GitHub page that you can use to install that way. So there you go. Hopefully that helps. That export then leads itself to, I don't know what that word is. Anyway, yeah, so it looks like you absolutely can install via the binaries that are available for whatever you need, whether it's ARM, ARM64, AMD, Windows, all of that is in there. So they've actually done a pretty good job as far as that's concerned. Let's come back to Zoraxy here. That was the restore. All right, so let's go back over here. We're back in the utilities. We're going to jump back up to where we were, which is the TLS SSL certificates. If you've got your own cert, whether you buy one, whether you generate one from Cloudflare, whatever the case is, you can then upload the PEM and the key and set the server domain and upload it from there. And of course, more information here. we can see, there it is. We can see the 2 certs that we pulled from Let's Encrypt. We can see when they were last updated, when they expire. If there's a DNS challenge, we can renew them from right here, or we can remove them. And of course, like I had to do, I had to click refresh to get them to work. I don't know why they keep swapping places there. That's weird. Excuse me. Next, we've got some fallback certs. If you've got those, certificate authority and auto renew. You can choose who you want your certificate authority to be, whether it's Let's Encrypt bypass or 0 SSL, completely up to you. Yeah, and then the stuff that we looked at earlier, Acme email, email auto renewer, Acme auto renewer. And then of course the stuff that we looked at over here. And again, we can change the certificate authority to whoever we want it to be out of the available options there. Oh, Packer by Hasselcorp to automate image builds. Oh, cool. I hope that works for you. I don't. Again, Hasselcorp keeps popping up in chat, and I haven't really looked into it, so I don't know anything about it. But thank you for clarifying. I genuinely appreciate that. I jump over to here, make sure everything over here looks okay. Got a few people hanging out on Twitch. Thank you guys for hanging out. I appreciate you being here and joining us over on YouTube as well. Super appreciate you guys hanging out today. We've got SSO and auth, or OAuth rather. Single sign-on is available. Sorry, please note this feature is still in development and it may not work as expected. And then there's Authelia down here, where you can then enter your Authelia server URL and then use HTTPS as necessary, which I would think you would want to for authentication stuff, right? And then, yep. So we've also got a static web server enabled directory listing. I think you'd want to turn that off for security reasons. And then, so the document root folder, you can move that if you need to. We took a look at where that was down here in the config/www/html folder, which we can see right there. The port number, I'm not sure why there's a port number on that, but there is. And then, of course, maybe it's just the web server itself. They put that on that port number. Anyway, here you can see, oh, hey, look at that. Can you really? No way. Oh, huh, neat. Refresh, cut, upload, download, new file, new folder, delete. Can I? No, don't think. Yeah, you're not going to be able to edit from here. If you could edit from here, that would be really neat, which I know is an ask that wasn't part of it. But yeah, you can actually view the files here, and you can upload files here. So if you didn't want to go through and edit this way, if you had an index.html file on your computer that you wanted to build, you could then upload it, or you could download this and then edit it and re-upload it. So that's kind of cool. I dig that. If you want to enable web access for your web directory, you can disable the feature with that startup parameter. Cool. One thing I haven't found in any of the reverse proxies is the ability to use staging certs from Let's Encrypt. I found myself having to wait a few hours to request some new certs. That's crazy. I've with you, well, and I don't know what provider you're using. My experience with using like Let's Encrypt, for example, they usually happen almost instantly, like within 10 or 15 seconds. In fact, you've seen it on here if you've been part of that, if you were here for part of that stream, or part of this stream rather. I'll get my words out eventually. Yeah, so they just happen real quick with Let's Encrypt. But again, I don't know which cert authority you're using there. So that might be an issue as far as why you're having to wait hours. That's crazy. Keith says hello from Oklahoma. Thanks for joining. I appreciate you being here and hanging out. Yeah, there's that. So let's jump back over here just real quick and take a look. Again, we've got our uptime monitor here. And we can see all that information. Uptime monitor checks the online state of proxied targets. So you're not going to be able to use this to monitor things that you're not proxying with this. So that is something to keep in mind. You're not going to be able to just uptime monitor something else on your network. This is only for proxied targets. We can see our uptime has been 100% on both of those, which is great. We're online, and our protocol is HTTPS for this one and HTTP for that one. And of course, we can refresh as we need to. We can actually see the difference in time on those. Oh, they're time stamped. Neat. About every 3 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes, it looks like. So yeah, that's what uptime monitoring looks like as far as that's concerned. We've got our network tools over here. We can discover MDNS enable service this gateway forward network. I don't know what that means. That's a lot of words I don't understand. Yeah, I don't know. Multicast DNS scanner. I've never actually used one of those. I don't know what that looks like. Start scanner. So you can scan an IP address. Scan. Please enter start and end. I don't know. Let's see what happens. Yep, DNS.Google. HTTPS detected. Port scan. Ping 1 millisecond. Cool. That's neat. So that's what the scanner. There's a CIDR range in there that you can scan as well. IP scanner, port scanner. Please ensure that you only scan IP addresses that you own or have explicit permission to scan. Unauthorized scanning may be considered a network attack and could result in legal consequences. So we're not going to do anything with that. Just know that it's there. And we've got trace routes and pings. We can see the results there. We can look up a domain name if we wanted to do that using a whois. Let's do this. Let's do tvtechreviews.com. Yep. That is all correct. That is all correct. So you can do a whois right there. We got connections. We can do web SSH from here. So let's do this. Let's not do that because then I'll give away too much information. But from here you can do SSH stuff, so that's cool. And you can put in the IP address, the port number, the username, and then I think once you connect, it'll ask you for the password. You can change your forward proxy. You can do Wake on LAN stuff. So if you've got devices that need Wake on LAN to access them remotely, you can do that. And I think that's amazing. I don't actually have anything set to Wake on LAN, but it's there if you need it. And then the interface, we can see those are local IPs. So like the Docker IP address for that. Warren says Zoraxy will be awesome for my Synology, actually. It looks easier than Prometheus. I agree with that. Well, to explain myself, while setting up my firewall in NPM with port forwarding and messing up, just spinning up NPM made a bunch of... Oh, yeah. I've actually had that happen as well. And look, here, and that's... I used Nginx Proxy Manager for a couple of years, let's just say a couple of years. I don't know the exact amount of time, but I used it for a while and really liked it. I made a lot of content talking about it, showing it, demonstrating it. The problem that I had with it, though, is I don't know if the developer just fell off or what the case was, but I started having a bunch of issues with it. And anytime I submitted an issue or a request or something where I noticed there was something wrong, the developer was like, yep, and... like they didn't seem to have any real gumption to fix the issues that were coming up. I had an issue with like checking to make sure a site was available. There was up for more than a year before it was finally automatically closed. Like the developer didn't seem to want to do anything with it. Again, they may have been going through something. They may have just given up. I don't know. But that was one of my big driving forces to move away from Nginx Proxy Manager. And luckily I found Cloudflare tunnels at the time. And I may be looking at switching over to a different platform. Well, the Pangolin platform that we looked at last time, we may end up taking a look at that. Or I may end up taking a look at that for my own personal stuff, just because it seems to work really well. And I don't want to necessarily tie all of my stuff to one third-party solution. So... sounds like a port scanner for devices using multicast traffic. That very well could be. Yeah, I learned the same way. I use staging environment from Let's Encrypt and only switch to live once I'm sure it's ready. Are you able to download your certs like an Nginx Proxy Manager? if you do a backup, like we took a look at over here, config tools, you can download them from doing a backup. Like I just did a proxy setting, redirect, inserts from there, but SSL TSL certificates. Oh yeah, actually, it looks like you might be able to. Portainer, let's just take a quick look at that. Let's go over to here. Let's go to my downloads. Portainer, export to there. Yep, right there. There they are. There's how to download your key or your SSLs. So that's a great question. Thank you for asking that. That showed me something I wasn't aware of. That's great. Oh, balls, you're right. I suck. One of these days, man. Thank you for correcting me. Okay, so we were over here somewhere. Okay, so hold on. Network tools. Okay, we were here before I switched everything over and lost everybody. So what I originally did was clicked here, and you can do like on utilities, you can go to system, you can open config tools, and you can back up everything like proxy settings, redirect tools, and certs. Or let's try this again. We can go over here to TLS, SSL certs, TLS and SSL certs, and then we can come down here to one of our domains. I downloaded this one. We're going to do it again. I'm going to click zoraxy.dbtech.tube right there, and it's going to say, hey, do you want to keep that? I do. It's throwing that error because I'm not on a domain name. If we go to downloads and right click and click open to Zoraxy, and open that, there is our key and our PEM files for that SSL. So yeah, great question. I didn't know that. I didn't even think about it until you asked. So there you go. You absolutely can. Traffic makes me want to pull my hair out. Yeah, I 100% agree with that. Still with traffic. I use IAC. Man, you guys are always throwing words at me or terms at me that I just don't know. I don't know what that is. I'm guessing it's not that. Anyway, so yeah, you can absolutely download your certs. I'm glad you asked that. That was really helpful for me. We looked at network tools. Keith, dude, thanks for hanging out. I appreciate you. And infrastructure as code. Oh, thanks. I appreciate that explanation too. And then statistical analysis. I don't know. Let's click that. There we go. Cool. That's neat. So this is just traffic for today. We've had 100 successful requests, 38 errors with 138 total. We've got host, HTTP, redirect, and whitelist. We can see Belgium, Brazil, Switzerland, China, Germany, South Korea, Poland, Singapore, Turkey, United States, and Vietnam as countries that have visited. We can see our IP stuff there. We can see client devices. This is really neat. That's great. Desktop and mobile, client browsers, Chrome, Microsoft Edge, Firefox, Safari. We've got client OSs, Android, Mac, Windows, Linux, iOS, OS versions. Lots of people, although I have to wonder if it's not also counting Windows 11 in that. That's interesting. Request types, folder path, API call, PHP, JavaScript, HTML, all of this different stuff. I kind of wish... That's weird. Oh, referring sites. Why is the Hong Kong government? That's strange. Advanced operations. What do we have here? Oh, we can export CSVs or JSONs, or we can just reset. That's cool. Yeah, so that's what's going on there. And we looked at utilities already. Enable SSH loopback is disabled. Yeah, so I guess that's Zoraxy in a kind of a general sense. There's more so you can also view the stats from over here on the homepage. At least some very generic stats. So that's kind of neat. Terraform, Ansible. It does seem like it's really well polished. I definitely dig this project. It's been brought up to me several times over the past few weeks. I started looking at it a while back, but didn't really have the time or whatever to get into it too much. Nighthawk over in Discord uses it and has said a lot of good things about it. It got brought up again Saturday in live stream, Saturday and probably Sunday as well. So I was like, you know what, let's just take a look at it. And I really dig it. You know what, while we're here, let me come back over to here. I just kind of want to dig through this real quick in dark mode, just because I want to see. I mean, it's mostly fine, I think. I feel like, you know what, like here, let me do this. Body, dark mode. I kind of feel like the background color shouldn't be black. It should be like 4, of course. Then I've got this div in here, which is no toolbar. It's just how it does. You could do like, and then you could do something like this. No, come on. If I could just click, oh, I guess I could have done it there too. Of course not. Why would it want me, or why would it want to do that? No, interesting. Anyway, I kind of feel like it should be like dark. I think the black is what's throwing me. I think if it was this nicer, darker gray color back over here, let me see if I can find it. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Yeah, I actually think that looks better. I think if it wasn't quite as dark, I think if it was like maybe if there was a blackout mode and a dark mode and a light mode, I think that would be better. Because I know some people do like black mode. I think that's too much. So anyway, just wanted to look at that. Yeah, oh, nice. Yeah. I think having a lighter dark mode, which I know sounds weird coming from me, would be nice. But you know, it is what it is. So let's come over to here. Let's see. Alexia is here. Thanks for joining. Appreciate you being here. Says, even better, there is dark mode, something NPM does not have. That surprises me since NPM has been around for so long. This does it. I've tried it before in the past and it doesn't, or didn't work as well as it does today. Awesome dark mode. Yep. Is it better? Is this better than Nginx Proxy Manager? That's up to you. This has got more features. It is also more resource intensive. Yeah, Alexia agrees that it seems way too dark. Pipe the logs into Loki, showed the load balancing part here. Is this better than Nginx Proxy Manager? Okay, you've asked that twice. Is there also something like Uptime Monitor? There is Uptime Monitor for the stuff that you're proxying. It will only show you uptime monitoring stuff for the stuff that you're proxying. It won't show you uptime for anything that you're not proxying. So that's something to keep in mind. HTTP proxy. Basic auth. Where was it? Sorry, I'm trying to remember where. Proxy rules. No. I'm trying to remember where I saw kind of the load balancing stuff. I remember seeing it somewhere. Interesting. Huh. Interesting. I don't remember where that was. There's a notification by email, at least if something goes down. You know, Keith, I don't know if that's an option to get notification when things go down. I know that there is a thing in here. This just says forgot password. It doesn't, unfortunately, say anything about uptime monitoring notifications. Static web server. Man, redirection. It's not in there. Access control, global area network, virtual directory. Is that root proxy router? No. Custom headers, was it in here? Security headers, advanced settings, HSTS, that, I would think you'd want that on, that's weird. Default site, status. I'm almost sure that I saw at some point there was a spot for load balancing, but maybe I was looking at something else when I saw that. Default site. First proxy target. No. That's fine. Virtual directories. Because I feel like it was... I felt like it was a pop-out, fly-out kind of window. Edit, maybe an edit upstream. Maybe you're right. Maybe that's where it was. Maybe that's where it was. Security options. Oh, edit upstream. Thank you. Add upstream. There we go. Yeah. So, yeah, create new load balance or fallback upstream origin. Thank you, Daisy. I appreciate that. Sometimes I get so caught up and I start to spiral out a little bit, and you saved me there. So thank you for that. It absolutely was under edit upstream, where you can add additional upstream for load balancing. So that's cool. I'm glad you reminded me to go look there. Again, require TLS, get verification if you need that for whatever reason. So yeah, that is how to do load balancing. Of course, you would need multiple instances to have it balance the load. So no, that's great. That's where that was. So again, Daisy, thank you for pointing me back in that direction. There's a lot of things that I kind of wish were in different places. Like I kind of actually feel like, let's just close this. This gets so jumbled up in here with all of these different sub tables and things like that. I feel like maybe this like if you click edit, it should take you back to I'm like not stream, not there. It should bring you back to somewhere like this, and let you edit things here. But that's a personal preference of mine, I think. But just having everything kind of in here, just I don't know, feels too packed in. It feels too busy. In order, of course, God damn it. So let's try that again. So it absolutely was here. What I was trying to say is, I feel like this is too busy when you're looking for things, right? Like I feel like if you click this edit here, it should take you back to a page like this, something that is more open and easy to follow, because this is so very, I don't want to say jumbled up, but very overwhelming, I think. You can adjust your authentication here, adding Athelia hazards. I feel like this is too jumbled up. I feel like it would be better if it was on its own separate page. Yeah, upstreams and add upstream. It's all right there. So if you need to do load balancing, it would be there. So again, I don't know. Again, I'd like to see. I feel like there are things that the developer could do to make the flow a little bit better with some of this stuff. Again, like when we're creating proxy rules, there should be an option somewhere in here to allow the creation of, wait, was there? No. To just say, like, I don't know where it would be. Maybe even under advanced settings, or maybe under this check mark right here. If we added a little box right there that was like, I need an SSL for this, rather than having it pop over or pop the little window down here, it'd be nice to just have it like right there. There is one other thing that I want to do real quick. Docker, oops, mount, Docker. Oh, you know what? I can do it this way. I'm dumb. What am I doing? container install. I'm going to just do this real quick. I know this is silly, but yeah, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to just copy this. I actually want to redeploy this, strangely enough, because I just want this volume right here. Because I want to see if we actually can, mount the Docker socket here and get access to that. I'm just going to update this. Cool. Let me make sure that that is still there. That looks good. I'm going to edit this real quick and duplicate and edit and go to volumes, Docker socket, yay. Okay, so I'm going to come back over to here to the status page. I'm going to refresh. There we go. Cool. So then I want to do create proxy rules, pick from Docker containers. Hey, there we go. So if you want to be able to pick from a Docker container or one of these specific ports, you do need to add the Docker socket to your Docker Compose. When I actually do the video for this, I will include this Docker Compose so that we can actually show the Docker containers that are over here and available to point to, because I think that's kind of neat. Oh, so if it's on this host, you can just do that. That's cool. Anyway, so that's how we can do. That's how we can add the Docker socket to this to have our Docker containers show up. Yep. Maybe that seems solid. Really considering switching from NPM. Yeah, like I don't blame you a bit. Like I really dig this project. I haven't reached out. I haven't talked to the developer on this. Toby, I think is his name. If I scroll down, yeah, Toby at IMUS Lab. So yeah, Tony Chewy, it looks like right there, based on that. Let's come back over to here. Let's take a look. Toby Chewy, there he is. He's in Hong Kong. Maybe that's why we saw some Hong Kong stuff in there. That's interesting. Toby's Wildlife Technology Research Institute. I keep forgetting to do that. I suck. I'm so sorry. Could you do read-only access to the Docker socket instead? I mean, maybe. I mean, we could just do an RO on that, like that, and then update, and then update. I don't know. Let's see. Let's refresh. Refresh again just to make sure. Let's double check this. Make sure that our stuff in the volumes. It didn't like me adding RO to that. Like it didn't actually add it. Oh, there it is. Read only right there. Yeah, so it looks like you can do read only with that if you wanted to. So yeah, hopefully that answers your question. Sorry, I just had to look over here to make sure I was on the right setting here. Wow, guys, thank you for all the likes. Holy crap. That's awesome. Thank you guys so much for that. Can't see your screen. Yep. Is it really not? Oh, I've been missing Twitch. I apologize. So, right, we're going to do this for just a second. When I'm on here, like I can switch between multi-stream and YouTube. I had it on YouTube. So for you guys on Twitch, I apologize. I suck. I've been unintentionally ignoring you, and I didn't mean to. I'm really, really sorry that I missed some of that. JD says, I would really love it if any of these had CrowdSec integration to the web GUI. I mean, it might honestly be worth putting in a request for that. I mean, I think that the developer might be open to something like that. I mean, they've done Athelia. I can't imagine why they wouldn't do something like CrowdSec. That's another one of those projects I just didn't get into. I didn't take a look at. They actually reached out to me at one point. About about doing a video about CrowdSec. Again, it was around that same time that I did the Athelia video. So like there was Athelia, Authentic, and CrowdSec all kind of hit the scene at the same time, or in a similar time frame. And after doing Athelia, I was so burnt out. I just needed to go back to doing simpler stuff, I guess, and I did. So anyway, yeah, I don't know. Actually, to answer that question, I do have the environment variable set right there in here. So I don't know. I think you could use the zeros. You know what? Let's just do something dumb here. Let's deploy something quick and easy, like your mom. Sorry, YouTube. Let's just do this. Let's just take a look and see if we've got something here that's fairly easy to deploy. I feel like Excalidraw was pretty easy. Oh, you know what? Docker. There we go. Docker image. We're just going to spin this up real quick. You're right. I apologize. One of these days, man. One of these days. So I'm looking for composerize. Yeah, we'll just do that. Here. Fine. I hate it when that happens. Services. We're going to come back to Portainer just real quick here. We're going to go to stacks. We're going to add a stack. We're going to paste that in there just like it is. That's all fine. And click deploy. We're just going to deploy this quickly to see if the 0.0.0.0 port, whatever thing in here works. I'm going to refresh this page just for the sake. And that was, we're going to call this draw.dbtech.tube. And then we're going to select from Docker containers here, Excalidraw. We're just going to click add right there. It doesn't require that. That's fine. We're going to create an endpoint. We're going to grab the SSL for that. And we're just going to see if it, cannot issue domain name needs at least one dot, what? Draw.dbtech.tube, right? We're going to try that again. We're going to do already added containers. Hold on. That's, Proxy. Geez, there it is. So it looks like it's not going to do that. Edit upstreams, get certificate, requesting. Yeah, so it looks like it is going to require the actual. Can we edit that? We can. Oops. So that's an interesting thing to keep in mind there. Close. Now let's see if we can get a certificate. Why? Oh, why didn't it? Okay, okay, hold on. We're gonna get there. That's weird. We're gonna put this back to 0.0.0.0. We're gonna save that. We're going to edit. Can we know why? I don't see. Okay, obviously can't do that. I don't know why it's not doing that. Hold on. Read it. Same ID original. Yeah, that's what we're trying to troubleshoot here. But for some reason, it's not. Maybe I'll just do it here. Draw.dbtech.tube, add, close, refresh. Let's see, alias. That's so strange, and I can't edit the host from here for some reason. I can't edit this. If I click on that, interesting. Okay. Huh. All right. Well, let's delete this. Let's delete Excalidraw. And let's make sure that I didn't just screw something up, because that is an entirely possible thing that may have happened. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to select Excalidraw right there, right? And we're going to do .dbtech Oh, that's what happened. I put in the domain name and then I selected the Docker container. I bet that's what happened. dbhack.tube. Okay, we've done that. Okay, we're going to create an endpoint. We're going to say yes. I just want to see what happens. Okay, it didn't throw an error that time, so that's good. We're going to go to our proxy, dbtech.tube. That all looks fine. Certificate installed successfully. That looks good. We're going to click that. It worked. So you can have those zeros in there. You do not have to specify a destination. That is super helpful if you're not using a VPS with a dedicated IP address. If you're hosting this, like say, locally on your home lab, whatever, right? If you got an IP address that changes periodically, having those zeros in there is a huge, huge help. Of course, you probably also want to. You'd also need a DNS client on your server to update your A record for this, but this fixes it on this end, and I think that's amazing. So, and you're right, DE. I apologize for not acknowledging that Hong Kong is technically separated from China. Two endpoints. One is just out. Yeah, welcome page. Channel member. I'm going to search what I use to keep an eye on more than one stream chat. It's been a few years since I streamed. So Alexia, I appreciate that. So basically what I'm doing here, in fact, I'll just show you. This is what I'm using. Okay, don't do that. There we go. I'm using Streamlabs desktop, Streamlabs OBS. I'm paying for it so that I can have multi-stream enabled, and I've got this set up to go to YouTube and Twitch. I can also add other things if I wanted to. But over here, it's got YouTube and it's got multi-stream. By default, I just had YouTube clicked, and I wasn't seeing that. I didn't have multi-stream clicked, but here we can see there's YouTube, there's Twitch, there's YouTube, Twitch. And I appreciate that all of that is there. I just forgot to switch over to multi-stream chat when I did that. So that's what happened. That's how I handled multi-stream chat. I didn't click the right thing. Eunice Ofa says, how can we make income doing home lab projects? You can develop a home lab project. You could. Some people host Nextcloud instances for people to make money. They use like a Nextcloud AIO, I think. Making sure that you have 100, basically that level of CLA for your paying customers is also huge. So you'd have to rent infrastructure from somewhere else probably, and then you'd have to manage that, and you could absolutely do it. I wouldn't want to take on that kind of responsibility for managing somebody else's data. Like if I lose my data, that sucks. I'll figure it out. If I lose somebody else's data, that's a lawsuit, and I don't want to deal with that. So, first step of the channel. Yeah, you can't merge the chats by clicking on the settings icon above the chats. I did merge them by going to the multi-stream chat selection there. So yeah, if I just go to YouTube, it will show me the YouTube chat. And if I click here, and this is just my live dashboard. So this going to multi-stream shows me all of the different stuff there, or all of the different chats from both sources. Liability is a key issue, and what about illegal content? That's where there's that. As far as hosting illegal content, like there is some amount of responsibility for that. It depends on the platform, though. But there's actually a law in place that both Facebook and Reddit and all of these different places fall behind, where they're just a platform, not a publisher. So if illegal stuff gets hosted on there, they can't necessarily be held responsible for said content, but they might be able to be reprimanded for not doing something about it. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. Going over to r/self-hosted, does it allow to put extra settings in proxy host like headers and stuff? Yeah, it does. That's a good question too. So if we come over here and click here, like, this is for pre-existing stuff, right? But you can do custom headers. For that, you can edit the custom headers. You can do that kind of stuff. You can add a header rewrite rule. You can go to advanced settings. You can overwrite host names, and then there are security headers as well that you can adjust there. I would think, I don't know why, I would think that HSTS would be enabled by default, which is hyper HTTP strict transport security. I would think you'd want that enabled by default. I'm not sure why it's not. Oh no, I totally agree, Collins. The single self-hoster doesn't have that level of protection. I totally agree. I have to wonder at what point, where is the line for something like that, right? Like where is it so that the self-hoster versus the corporate conglomerate, like where is that break-even point where it makes sense? Can you block access to the site? Yep. You can absolutely put authentication in front of it. You can restrict access based on IP or country or both. There's lots of different ways that you can restrict access to it. In fact, this has an Authelia integration available to it that is in beta right now. But that involves setting up a separate instance of Authelia and incorporating it into this. But that's way outside the scope of anything I want to deal with right now. Or the other thing that you can do, I guess while we're here, is like if we come back over to my desk, like if I go to port, is that going to work? Yeah. So like I've got port.dbtech.tube that works if I click that, right? Like we agree that works. If I turn this off, and then I come back over here and refresh, it just brings you back to here. And then of course if I want to, I can turn it back on and refresh. There it goes. And it just takes a second for that setting to propagate. So, let's see, here's my example. Unless you're going to LLC or become a corporation, how are you going to explain to law enforcement it's not my content? Yeah, you'd have to have so many, you'd have to have logs. You'd have to have logs of all account access. And if you did that, then that's going to put some people off, which might be a good thing in the long run. But that's, you'd have to have so many logs to prove that it wasn't you. Does it have region blocking, not just country? I'm not sure. Let's take a look. Where was it? Under access control. So blacklist, they've got countries and IPs. It doesn't look like they've got regions at the moment. So you couldn't just block, say, North America or South America or the Middle East or Asia. You'd have to go through an individually blacklist countries. It doesn't look like they've got a regions setting in there, at least not for now. Chris, yes, I will be doing a separate posting of this video. This is just kind of digging through it so I can familiarize myself with it and have you guys ask me questions like you've been amazing at doing today and helping me kind of get through all of this and digest it all so that I can sit on it for a few days and come back. In fact, we did a video like this Saturday, where we took a look at Pangolin. So my plan for tomorrow is to make a dedicated video to Pangolin so that we're not having all of the interaction with chat and that sort of thing. Just a very concise, cut down thing. I'll be doing the same thing for Zoraxy at some point in the near future as well. It's a very cool project, and I think more people will use it if they knew about it. Let's see. If you're all wondering, this isn't on Unraid. No worries. I was thinking about whitelisting. I think whitelisting is going to be the same. Let me see. Yeah, whitelisting is the same. It's just countries and IPs, not areas or regions. There's one thing I've managed to do with Zoraxy so far, passing through validation for Let's Encrypt hosts that rely on generating a certificate such as Snicket. I don't know what Snicket is. Let's take a look. Oh, so just so I'm okay. So Andreas says there's one thing I haven't managed to do with Zoraxy so far, which is passing through validation for Let's Encrypt for hosts that rely on generating a certificate such as Snicket. So does Snicket already have like its own SSL built into it? Is that what I'm understanding here? Custom pages. Oh yeah, I deliberately don't have my screen up right now for a second, but thank you for checking me on that. I appreciate it. So if I'm understanding, we'll jump back over here real quick. Like let's say you wanted to deploy Snicket, and it was like, you had to go to like HTTPS, IP address, port to get to Snicket, like you do with like say Portainer, for instance, right? Like we do here, like this is IP address and port 9443. Okay, cool. So I'll go back and show you that just real briefly. So what you would do in that case, right? Because we've actually got that set up here. What we would do in that case, making sure. So you would put in, subdomain.domain.com, right? And then you'd put in .443, right? Because it's already got its own IP or its own SSL built into it, right? So what you would do in this case with the Zoraxy is you would click proxy target requires TLS connection, right? And I kind of wish that check mark was darker, but you check this box right here, and then you go into advanced settings. And then you click this ignore TLL or TLS SSL verification error. You make sure that this is checked and this is checked, and then it should work. That's how I got this Portainer instance to work, was by saying it requires an SSL, but ignore the SSL error that's associated with it, and then everything works. Or at least it did with regards to Portainer. That's how I've got this Portainer instance up and running using port 440 or 9443 right here. In fact, you can see there's a padlock right there saying that there is, in fact, an SSL on that side of things. So that's, Andreas, that's how you go about doing that. And I will be sure to include that in the actual tutorial video that I do for Zoraxy. So yeah, I hope that helps you get through that particular situation that you're dealing with there. Does it have locations? Hold on, there was something else. So DES, can it have custom pages for more than 404 hosts, such as 301? Not that I have seen. It doesn't mean it doesn't have them. It just means I haven't seen them. In fact, there's not even really a way. I wonder. Let's come back over to here. Oh, I got you, Andreas. Yeah, I genuinely don't know about that then. I'd have to install Snicket to view that for myself. Let's see, Zoraxy, can I go up a level from there? Okay. Yeah, the only thing that I'm aware of as far as customization for different pages like 404, 301, that sort of thing is just this page right here. I don't know how you would go about editing 404 pages. Let me, so there's just an index.html page there, ls, cd into templates, ls. There's nothing in templates, but that doesn't mean, like, look, there was over here in the wiki. There may be more information in here. Oh, interesting. Oh yeah, here we go. Oh yeah, and here they actually talk about local time and Docker sockets and things like that. So here, and they actually talk about preparing the host machine to not use port 8000. So there may be more information over here with regards to custom pages, say 404, 301, whatever the case is. There may be more information in here about that. So I would definitely check that out. Custom cert auth, generally generating them manually for my services, then uploading them to Nginx Proxy Manager for continuous processing. We have another Andreas in here all of a sudden. That's kind of neat. Can you recommend a reverse proxy that can directly manage a custom cert auth? Generating them manually for my services and then uploading them to Nginx Proxy Manager has become a tedious process. So this actually handles three. Oops, I was right here. If we go into TLS and SSL certificates, and then come down to here, they have Let's Encrypt Bypass and Zero SSL in here by default. So you can choose any of those three cert authorities. If you've got a custom one outside of that, I don't know. Honestly, I've been using Cloudflare tunnels for so long that generating SSLs has become kind of a thing I haven't done in a long time. That may change if I switch over to something like Pangolin or something like that, but for your specific use case, I'm not entirely sure. I wish I had a better answer for that. Ooh, coffee's getting cold, but the room's warming up. It's now 68 degrees in here. It's come up 18 degrees in the last, call it 2 hours. So that's good. I'm much more comfortable in here than I was earlier. In fact, oops, we'll just turn that off. Don't think I need it anymore at this point. So yeah, that's a good question. Again, I wish I had a better answer about custom cert auths. They've just got the three in there for right now, and not really much else, unfortunately. But you might be able to reach out to the developer and see if they want to add additional cert auths. Maybe there's one that you're using that they're not aware of that they could use. They could add to expand their functionality. If you go back to, in fact, it might even be on here. Oh, wow. Wow. Dude's busy. Sorry, this is oh, there it goes. That the developer of the project we're on right now, they're busy. So Toby, and so also the other thing with regards to what we saw in here with Hong Kong being in there, in the documentation. Again, I suck. So one of the things that we may have seen, like when we were looking at, like if we go back to status. And Hong Kong in there. Look, that may have just been something as simple as maybe the developer's watching this. I don't know, but it could also be that it's just saying, "Hey, there's a new instance up," because I'm not seeing a ton of traffic coming through there. Let's see, referrer, unknown or hidden. Let's do HK. Wow, lots of stuff in there. Lots of stuff in there. Yeah, I don't know. It could have just been updating their dashboard internally to let them know that somebody else has deployed this. So I don't know. It's definitely something you'll want to be aware of. And and I only say that because the developer is in Hong Kong. And again, I understand that some people may have an issue with that. So just something to keep in mind. If that's a concern for you, I get it. I really do. Hold on. So Daisy asked about that. Okay, hold on. Let me go back up. Some people said it has something like live logs and banning IPs from that. Yeah, we can show some of that. So like if we come over to here, and go, where was it? Work tools, web server, was it here? Yeah, now I don't remember where it was. Let me go back to, let me do this. I know that's so weird for me. Status, no. Statistical analysis. Man, God, there's so much in here that I don't remember. Access control, stream proxy, default site, status. I know there was a spot where we saw a bunch of, where we were able to do that. Hold on, I'm gonna find it. And if you guys remember before I do, please let me know in chat. That'd be amazing. Redirection, access control. Oh, quick ban, here we go. So when we go to access control and then into quick ban, we can see all of these different IP addresses in here. So if your IP address is 85.203.47.67, why? Quick ban list. I don't know why it's not letting me do that. That's weird. Hold on, let me refresh. Maybe access control. Oh, enable blacklist. Oh, here we go. You have to enable the blacklist. That's the first thing you have to do. But if you're like, I can just ban all of these people with by just clicking that right there. Do you want to? Yeah. Then you have to confirm that you want to unban them. So that's interesting. You have to confirm one way but not the other. Oh, I suck so much. So it's under access control. Then you've got to come over to blacklist and you have to enable blacklist. Then you can go to quick ban and then you can check the little mark over here. I apologize, guys. I don't know what my deal is today. I can kind of see me out of the corner of my eye. I should be better at this. Does it have locations? Like NPM, when editing an entry, you have the locations tab. I don't know what that is, unfortunately. So I apologize, Daisy. I'm not sure what's going on with that. How big was the install? Less than 400 megs for the image. Yep. My IPs would tell me if it saw unusual traffic, and I've been running this. I see nothing in the IPs. Yeah, so it may have just been. Yeah, I know. I keep screwing that up. Interesting voice to confirm. Unbanning it. Yeah, I don't know why it makes me like I can ban, but I have to like confirm unbanning. That's really weird. But yeah, you just go into access control and make sure you enable the blacklist over here, and then you can block IP addresses. In fact, I wonder if I come over to here and scroll down. I'm just gonna ban a couple of people for a minute. Yeah, and there they are right there. So those are the banned IP addresses, or you can manually input them, or you can delete them from there as well. So completely up to you how you want to handle that. Oh, like virtual directories? Yeah, you can do virtual directories. They're right here. There's a whole page for virtual directories that you can use if you wanted to go that route. I guess I skipped over it because I don't use them. I'm not entirely sure what their purpose is, if I'm honest. But thank you, DE, for breaking that down for me. Yeah, so locations, if that translates over to virtual directories, then yes, there would be virtual directories here. Matching new virtual directory rule. Yeah, I don't know that I've ever had a use for it because I mean obviously I didn't know what it was. So apparently you can do that via virtual directories. So there's that. To make sure I'm not missing anything else. Virtual directories, right? Do we have? Cool, we got a couple of new followers over on Twitch. Thank you guys for that. I super appreciate it. I don't know if YouTube tells me using the same domain. Oh, that's fine. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what you mean there. Using the same domain. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I've never had a use for apparently virtual directories, so I've never looked into it. Oh, I can scan and get rid of all of that. That's fine. But hopefully virtual directories are what you're looking for. Oh, you mean, so using the same domain instead of using subdomains. I gotcha. So we could do something like, like draw, I guess. It's interesting. And then that, and then that was on port 5000. So, so it might be, so something like that. And then it would be, in theory, it would be like dbtech.tube/draw, I guess is what we're getting at. Create a virtual directory there. So let's try dbtech.tube/draw. Advanced. Nope, still can't do that. But again, that could be just the way I've got my stuff set up here. Because I don't have the root directory configured with an SSL or a wildcard or anything like that. No, to answer Reginald, you cannot add new users to the login. This is a single user interface, at least for the time being. It's just one user, one administrator for this. If I click out up here, that's just going to log me out. And there's nothing else in here that lets you create additional users. So just a single user interface for that. Again, I think it's, and I think Nginx Proxy Manager was the same, if I'm honest. I don't know. You might be able to do something with Athelia that might, but the reality is it would just be the same user logging in, though you could have multiple users logging in through Athelia. I don't know, but no, by default there's no multiple users for this. So let's see, anything else? There's no reason why we would wipe those. I spun up npm on both local and on VPS, but it isn't working. npm, you can have multiple users, huh? It's, like I said, it's been a long time since I've used npm. I genuinely, I guess I blocked it out. Yeah, I just haven't had much of a use for that. You know, let's do this. No, let's not do that. That'll confuse things. So yeah, I think that's kind of everything. You probably set up Athelia. Athelia will let you set up different users that sign into the same single login apps. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. I'm glad we're on the same wavelength with that. Again, it would still be the same user here, so you wouldn't really be able to restrict access to certain things based on the user. You wouldn't be able to grant additional privileges based on the user or restrict access based on the user. So you could. Which I guess if you had a small team of people managing this, you could do that. And then if you ever needed to kick them out or whatever, you could. That might work. To configure user groups and access certain web apps. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. But it wouldn't let you be granular about what access they had inside Zoraxy. That's kind of what I was getting at there. But I dig the ability to do that. It's just setting up Athelia is such a daunting endeavor for me right now. So yeah, that's good to know, though. That is good to know. Let's see. Again, sorry, I'm looking at other stuff over here. It would be kind of cool if they added CrowdSec to this. I need to look into CrowdSec if I start. If I go back to using something like this or Pangolin. In fact, I wonder, Pangolin. I wonder. Yeah, extend function. So Pangolin extends functionality with traffic plugins such as Fail2Ban or CrowdSec. So it looks like you could do something like that. Yeah, there we go. So it looks like you'd probably have to get started. You can make it. And access control doesn't have those options. Oh, hey, yay, the kitty popped up. Sorry, I'm just seeing this for the first time. I added little emotes from sorry for Twitch. Let's jump back over here. So the access control is for blocking countries, IPs, that sort of thing. So no, there's nothing in there about users Forsaken One. We test out how it works with wildcard certs and if it's cookie header names for passing sessions. I'm not even going to jump into Athelia on any of this. Nighthawk has verified that Nighthawk has verified that wildcard certs do work. That's what he's using apparently. As far as passing sessions onto Athelia, I don't know. I'm not super interested in getting into Athelia. The cat thing, that was it's a Twitch thing. It's a Twitch notification that gives me a URL that I can put into my streaming software as an overlay. So whatever happens there kind of pops over. The same thing as the way you can see chat. I added the chat to this via a URL. So I was able to add the Twitch thing there as well. I kind of wish YouTube had something similar, but YouTube is very much a video on demand service with streaming as an afterthought, and Twitch is very much the opposite of as a streaming first with video on demand as an afterthought. So yeah, I saw it for the first time just a moment ago. I just added it this morning. Well, I built it the other day, but then didn't realize that I had to add it to my streaming software via the URL. So just saw it for the first time. Super stoked to see it actually. When you talk about this, it'll bring back memories. Yeah. But let's see. I'm going to jump over. Oh, about notifications and such. Yeah. Yep. All right, let's see. Let me do this. Pop this over here. Oh, man. That's not what I'm looking for. This is what I'm looking for. Sorry, I'm just checking something over here. All right, cool. So that's, I think, I'm gonna bring this back up. So I think that's kind of where I want to wrap this up. We've been at this for more than 2 hours. That's crazy. So yeah, we've been at this for a couple hours. I think we've covered everything. All of the high level stuff. I really liked the technical things about streaming, like getting the best possible image to the streaming site and endless tweaking. Yeah. Like I've been tweaking with this for like 2 weeks now, just trying to get just the little details kind of wired in, dialed in, I guess is the word I'm looking for there, to give you guys the best experience possible. I added the chat to the screen so you guys can see what everybody's talking about, even though there is some delay. Kyle says, "Oh my God, he's checking out Zoraxy." Yep, we have been doing that for a bit. I'm going to make a follow-up video for this probably next week. I'm going to put out a video for Pangolin Wednesday if everything goes well, and I'll do this one next week. There's going to be some trailing time between like the live stream and the video, and I did that unintentionally, but I think it works out really well. So that way I can have some time to kind of sit on things and let it simmer in the back of my brain before we do that. Before we actually do that, the best feature is the geolocking. Yeah, we took a look at that earlier. Poor man's firewall, basically. Yeah, 100% agree. But I also like little details. like with not necessarily access control, but God, is it under access control? No. Wireless quick ban. Edit. Default. Where was it? Default rule ID? No. Close. Being able to have HTTP proxy. Being able to go in here and add credentials to this. So you can. In fact, I might even be able to do it. Yeah, so there are Athelia exceptions in there. We've got basic username and password credentials. So I like that. I like that you can add additional layers of security to this with different methods as well. We're going to do this real quick. Yeah, so that does the, did I do 2? I did draw. What am I doing? Draw. Yeah. That seems to have worked. I know somebody brought that up a second ago, but Alexia, no, not every stream will be a video, but I want to do my thought with what we've been doing was, like, for instance, a couple of weeks ago, I did a video about Tianji, and that was, God, when was that? When was this? Hold on, give me a second here. January 7th. So just about a week ago, we did a video, a live stream about Tianji. And because that video was an hour and a half, or that stream was an hour and a half long, I wanted to just kind of give a more concise just tutorial on it. This is kind of just these live streams are just kind of exploratory, right? Like just kind of getting my head wrapped around the project, the container, the setup process, running into hiccups and fixing them, that sort of thing. Getting your guys' input is super, super appreciated as well. But what happened was I did one a week ago, last Monday, right? Or Sunday or whatever. And then made that video about it. And then my plan was to do a live stream on Monday and then make a video about the topic that we covered in that live stream. The problem was I screwed that up. When I did the live stream Saturday, it was meant to just be kind of a hangout and chill live stream with no real specific topics as far as Docker containers or applications or anything like that. But I ended up doing the live stream on Pangolin, and I didn't mean to. Like, I meant to. I was excited about doing a video about Pangolin, but wasn't thinking when I decided to do the live stream on Pangolin, I should have been doing that live stream today. So I'm going to do the actual tutorial video on Pangolin tomorrow to release on Wednesday. And then Saturday, we'll do a live stream hangout, right? And then next Monday, we'll do another version of this with a different application. And then the following Tuesday, I'll do a video about Zoraxy. And then, so there's going to be some trailing and leading time on all of this. And I unintentionally did it and kind of screwed myself over in the same process. So that's my idea anyway. So again, not every live stream will become a separate video. I want to do these live streams to kind of get your guys' input on this kind of stuff. You guys have asked me a ton of super helpful questions to make me dig deeper into certain things. But like, we're just doing a live stream hangout and we're talking about the news, or we're talking about self-hosting topics like news that's going on with different things, whatever, that will just stay a live stream. But if we're doing Docker containers specifically, those will turn into videos eventually. Hopefully that makes sense. Because what it boiled down to, right? Like, I've been trying to say forever that I need to do more live streams. I like these interactions. I like hanging out. I like chatting. And I spend so much time just sitting at my desk, digging through Docker applications, trying to find the next thing to make a dedicated tutorial video about. And And it's like, okay, I'm sitting there, I'm scrolling, I'm demoing things, I'm trying things out, I'm testing, I'm troubleshooting, I'm doing all of this stuff. And I'm just sitting in my living room staring at my screen with a YouTube video playing below me, right? Like I've got this background noise to keep my brain occupied while I'm doing that because my wife is off doing her own separate thing. And I was like, oh, or like Kyle said, I could show you guys how the sausage is made, right? Like we could go through this together as a community. And I can kind of go through this setup process, and you guys can ask me questions about it, and we can talk about different aspects of it. And then I can kind of let all of that simmer in the back of my brain, and then we can turn that into an actual piece of content that is consumable for the rest of the world who either isn't interested in live streams, can't join the live streams, doesn't want to watch a 3-hour live stream that could have been truncated down into a 20-minute video. So this is, so I'm kind of, I guess, killing 2 birds with 1 stone, 3 birds with 1 stone maybe, right? Like I'm doing the live streams like I said I need to do. I'm doing the work that I need to do that I would be doing otherwise by myself in the other room, whatever. But I'm also getting some social interaction with you guys because the live streams are a great way for us to communicate and hang out and do sorts of different things. But this is also very much a social interaction for me. I don't go out much. I don't have a lot of friends come over. I don't go out with friends very often. So this is me hanging out with friends. So it's kind of me killing 3 birds with 1 stone, as dumb as that saying is. So yeah, that's kind of how all of this came to be over the past couple of weeks, as I had to make some changes. We talked about this in a previous live stream, where I'm deliberately making little changes in my life every few weeks lately to try to make some of the changes that I need to make. Whether it's stuff around the house, in my personal life, in my professional life, whatever it is, I'm trying to make little changes as I go, so I'm not trying to make 10 changes all at once simultaneously and overwhelm myself and just shut down. Because I will absolutely do that. I absolutely get overwhelmed and just shut down. And that affects my mental health, that affects my family, that affects my YouTube, that affects my community, and I don't want to do that. So I'm trying to just make little changes every couple of weeks to create new behaviors, to change behaviors, to just do better as a person, as a partner, as a father, as a content creator, whatever. I'm trying to make little changes as I go to just be better consistently. So it's yummy sausage. That's great. I am, Kyle, you're right. I am a home labber, just like you guys. Like, here's the thing, right? Like, I know I'm in a privileged position, you know, like to have all this crap behind me sent to me in exchange for promoting it. Like, I'm aware of that. And I know not everybody has that option. And that's why I've tried to do things like, okay, so when I make a tutorial video, when I'm not using a VPS for reverse proxies and that sort of thing, when I'm making a tutorial video about a Docker container, you know, like Excalibur, you know, like we were just looking at here, it's on a mini PC with an N100 CPU in it, right? Like it's a very low power, efficient device. Like it's not expensive. It was a couple $100, or would have been if I had bought it. So I'm not like, I've actually considered downsizing this because this is ridiculous. It genuinely is. But yeah, I'm just like, I've just taken this hobby and turned it into a way to bring in some income and share my excitement about the hobby with anybody who will take a few minutes and listen to me. So, Forsaken One says, I like the on-the-spot answers and seeing it done also. Yeah, and that's just it. Like you guys asking me these questions, like I will be able to, if I need to, for whatever reason, go back and skim through this live stream when I get ready to make the video about Zoraxy and be able to go back and address certain things, certain questions and that sort of thing. I'll be able to use this as a way to put up not necessarily a script, but like an outline of, here are the things that we need to cover, right? And because you guys have helped me with this, I'll have a better chance of making a more cohesive video. So yeah, so that's kind of what my logic was here, was to do all of that by just turning on the camera and doing it live. And Collins, I thank you for sharing those links the other day. I'm going to do something with those do it live links. I'm going to have to bleep them extensively, but it is what it is. Also, since you're here, and that's why I called you out there, paralysis analysis, absolutely, or analysis paralysis. Yeah, I'll get overwhelmed. I'll spiral out. I'll get a mild case of depression, and I'll just sit and stare at my screen in there and doom scroll for days. I did that a while back. And I'm trying not to do that. So little changes as I go, and trying to do better as I go as well. So, yeah, I think that's a deep enough insight into the inner workings of my brain for the moment. I want to thank you guys so much for hanging out today. I know not everybody was here the whole time. Some people were in and out. I appreciate the comments, the questions, the encouragement. I genuinely I genuinely appreciate all over that. It really does help me get through these, and keep my motivation going to keep doing them. So, I'm going to do another live stream at the end of this week, Saturday, probably Saturday morning. I might start doing more stuff with Ethan and Shelley. We're still working on some stuff behind the scenes. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. Kyle, actually, we talked about the Chinese developer aspect of this briefly. We actually did cover that. In fact, if we take a look here, like this is Toby, Toby's website, Toby's Wildlife. Anyway, but yeah, he's in Hong Kong, which I was corrected. They are technically separate, but I totally appreciate you coming through on that. And it's just one of those things. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. But I just thank you again for bringing that up, and specifically the Reddit post as well. Tail end of this. These are awesome. Thank you, Mr. Grey Wolf. Appreciate you being here. Everybody else who's been here at any point today, thank you. I genuinely appreciate you guys hanging out with me for a while. But I think with that said, I'm going to wrap this up. I'm going to hit the end screen button here on my Stream Deck. And Space Dorg, thank you for joining and popping in with a comment right here at the end. I'm going to mute my mic. I'm going to hit the end stream button here on my Stream Deck and wrap this up. But again, thank you guys so much. Again, planning on doing another live stream Saturday morning at like 11 o'clock, I think, Mountain Time. That's Denver, Colorado time. 11 o'clock Saturday is kind of my tentative goal for that. So with that said, thank you guys again so much, and I'll talk to you again here real soon.